afternoon, uh, kindergarten and pre-K. I have a friend I want to show you. This is Lauren the chicken. Lauren the chicken laid an egg. You see this egg? In order to lay this egg, she had to have calcium. Calcium is a mineral. We find calcium in rocks. Can you see these white rocks? She has to eat these white rocks so that when she lays an egg, the egg will have a hard shell so that it won't fall apart. Rocks are not alive and they've never been alive. But in order to have an egg, she has to have some calcium in her body so the shell on her egg will be hard. So I'm going to show you some things in the ecosystem that are non-living. That means that they're not alive and they will never and they have never been alive, but living things need them in order to carry out their life processes. So let's go ahead and get started on this. I'm going to share my screen with you. And let's see, present. And this is a very fancy way of saying non-living characteristics of an ecosystem. These are things like temperature, sunlight, air, water, wind, and rocks, just like the rocks that you saw that Lauren has to eat. Now, non-living factors are abiotic. That means they're without life. They're not alive and they've never been alive. So what are two abiotic factors in an ecosystem? The sun provides heat and light, but it's not alive. Water is necessary for life, but it's not alive. Air is necessary for life, but it's not alive either. Temperature is an abiotic factor that helps determine many life activities, but it's abiotic, it's non-living. So let's look at some of these. There's the sun. Almost all of the energy we use here on our earth comes from the sun. It gives us heat and light. Plants need sunlight in order to make food. People need sunlight in order to make vitamin D, and sunlight provides clues to animals when to migrate and to plants when it's time for them to bloom. Water's an abiotic factor. Here's a big old bottle of water. Do I need water? Yes. Does Lauren the chicken need water? Yes. Do you need water? Yes, you do. Water is crucial to life, and the water cycles throughout the whole world on the water cycle. And we have water in all three states. We have liquid water, we have solid water, that's what we call ice, and then water vapor, that's the gas form of water. It's not alive, it's never been alive, but we have to have water in order to stay alive. Temperature is also non-living. Temperature can affect the weather. It can affect how animals behave. It can affect how people behave. It can affect how plants grow and how an environment can change. Air, that's another non-living factor. Air supports clouds. We have to have air in order to breathe. Air can protect us from harmful rays of the sun. Good air is good for your health. That's why your parents encourage you to play outside in the fresh air. Air is non-living. Okay, here's our concluding question. Let's see if you can answer it. What abiotic factor, what non-living factor in an ecosystem provides heat and light? I'll give you a hint. The picture is on the right. It's a star. It's non-living, and it's the center of our solar system. If you said the sun, you are correct. You get a gold star. Okay, so I'm going to get out of this and we'll come back to Lauren the chicken. And we talked about several things that we have to have. Take a deep breath. That's air. Air, you have to have air in order to be alive, but the air itself is not living. There are many things in our ecosystem that are necessary, but they're not alive, but they help keep us alive. They help us stay healthy. So if you have any other questions, boys and girls, about things that are not alive, I'm alive, you were alive, Lauren Chicken is alive, but all the things I showed you, like the sun and air and water and temperature, humidity, rocks, remember the rocks we saw at the beginning? Those things are non living. They're not alive and have never been alive.